again, everybody. I'm Hunter Parker, and welcome back to another edition of From the Third Eye, the only show where you get to hear all about technology from a blind person's perspective. Thank you very much for tuning in. Whew. I had to take a deep breath there for a minute. Isn't that nice? See, if you don't breathe, then you'll die, which we don't want that. So make sure you always suck in that oxygen. This public service announcement brought to you by nothing. Had to have a little humor there. Ha ha ha. Anyhow, today on the show we're going to talk about, continue our series that we started 2 weeks ago on how to start an internet radio station. Today I'm going to go into what you'll need for your website, web hosting services you can use, both free and paid options, as well as streaming services you'll need to stream your content to your station. Again, both free and paid options. So let's get into it, shall we? By the way, this week's episode of the show is exclusive to OCTV. I took down the audio.com page as we are transitioning into Wild 103, moving the show over there. Unfortunately, the station will not be launched quite yet. I had to pay bills, so that's obviously more important. So a little short on some money, but that will be happening very soon, hopefully in the next couple weeks is the plan to launch the station. I have to get a few things done on the website for the station anyhow, so it's actually kind of works out. I'm not quite ready to launch yet, but nonetheless, we'll get to that. So this episode will be exclusive to OCTV this week. So you won't hear that wonderful voiceover in the front of it this time, as the audio.com page was taken down because of, I thought I was going to have the station up by now. But anyhow, crap happens. So anyhow, moving on. So what do you need for your website? Well, obviously, a lot of your streaming providers, whether it be a paid service or a free service you're using, usually gives you some kind of links to tune in to your broadcast. However, a website would be nice in case you want to display a schedule of programming or, things like that. Now, as far as how to design a website, I'm not going to go into details on that. That would take too long. But I can give you some options you can go through if you want to find quality web hosting for your website, for your station. And I have a few different options you can choose from. Let's start off with the paid options. The paid options include a website that utilizes Dropbox as its way of storing your website files, and that service is called Site44. The website is site44.com. All you do to sign up is you just connect your Dropbox account to it, and then you will be asked to provide your payment information. You do get a 30-day free trial beforehand, so you can test it out and create your websites with Site44. So what happens is once it's connected to Dropbox, a folder is placed in your Dropbox folder under the apps directory, where all your websites will go. So all you would do is you just publish your HTML files to that folder in Dropbox, and it automatically publishes it to your website. The service, after your trial, if you stick with it, is $4.99 a month for the service. You can create up to 10 websites in your account. Now, if you cancel before your trial ends, then you will pay nothing. So that's one easy way to do it. Now, if you're going to use advanced coding like PHP, for example, you can't use Site44 for that. That's only for what they call static sites, which is simply HTML or JavaScript, for those that know about that kind of stuff. But if you want to use more advanced coding, there is a website called Streamer, spelled Streamerr, streamer.co. Now, I'm going to go back to that service in a few minutes because they also offer stream hosting. That's primarily what they do. But they do offer web hosting as well. Now, the good thing with Site44 and Streamer, if you don't have a domain name already and you don't want to have the hassle of purchasing one, you can use their domain name, a subdomain of theirs, and link your own domain later. That's the good thing I like about these two services. Now, the pricing for Streamer, it is listed on their website. I don't know what it is off the top of my head because they, by default, charge in British pounds because they're from the UK. So when you set up your billing account, you'll want to make sure you email them right away to change your currency to US dollars or whatever currency you use. For those that aren't in the US, you might use, Canadian dollars or whatever, but they can change that for you so the prices are accurate. So obviously the price may be a little bit different each month because of the exchange rate from pounds to dollars, but shouldn't be too bad. So there's a couple options if you want hosting. Now, a couple free options you can choose from. There's one called HelioHost, which is spelled HelioHost.org. They are actually a nonprofit organization. They're a 501c3 organization that provides free web hosting. And their free hosting is top notch. You get the same quality web hosting from them like if you were using a paid web hosting provider. So that's really cool. And they offer great support either through their online forums or through email, whichever. Actually, if you email their support, that goes directly to their forums and they respond that way. So HelioHost is a great site you can use for web hosting. Again, it's free. And that's what we use for Wild 103. And then, of course, there's AlterVista, which is what we use for this show, AlterVista.org. Make sure you put en.altervista.org before you go on there. Otherwise, you're going to get their default version, which is in German. Unless you speak German, you might want to do the English version. So make sure you do en.altervista.org. Otherwise, you're not going to get the English version. And AlterVista has good service as well. You can either host your website using WordPress or, using just regular coding if you want to do that. That's up to you, however you want to do that. So there's a few options if you can use AlterVista. You can buy a domain with them later. You start off with a subdomain of theirs. HelioHost, you can either use their subdomain or you can sign up with your own domain if you'd like as well. That's another option. So it's completely up to you. Now that we've talked about web hosting, the fun part now is what are you going to use for streaming? Because you're going to need a streaming server to stream your content. And again, I have some paid and free options available for you that you can choose from. They all work pretty much the same way. As far as connecting to your broadcast, that all works the same. You'll use your, and I'll get into that in a minute, of what software you could use to connect to your stream, because you're going to need to do that, know how to do that properly. And there are some paid options and free options available as well. So for streaming servers, for the paid options, again, there's Streamer, which I mentioned before. They offer all different types of streaming. Now, if you want your station to run 24/7, a lot of these streaming providers offer a auto DJ feature, which allows you to do just that. Um, so, for example, with Streamer, there's the popular SentovaCast option, which is default. That offers an auto DJ feature where you can upload your music library or whatever you're broadcasting, and you can have it play automatically. Now, the thing about SentovaCast, for those that are visually impaired, the only problem you might have is the adding your music to your playlist. And for that, you kind of have to be able to drag and drop the files from your media library into your playlist. That would be quite challenging for someone that is visually impaired. So an alternative, which Streamer offers, is either Sonic Panel, which is another control panel you can use. They all work pretty much the same way. The only thing is with Sonic Panel, you can't upload via FTP. You can only upload via your browser, so that might take you a while to upload all your music if you have thousands of tracks. Or one that I recommend, which is what I'm going to be using for Wild 103, is Media CP. That one is the most accessible. It's really easy to use. You can upload via FTP or File Transfer Protocol, which allows you to upload massive amounts of audio to the server at once. Using a program, usually I would use either WinSCP or FileZilla. Those are a couple programs you can use for that. They're free. So that's my recommendation. If you're visually impaired, use one of those two. Now, there's another streaming service you can use called ReliaStream, RELIA stream.com. It's $8 a month for a basic stream. They, again, use SentovaCast. There's an option for that. Now, the good thing with ReliaStream is if you want some voice work done for your station, there's a guy named Jeffrey Hutchins who I've used in the past. He gives discounts for people that use ReliaStream. So there's a link to his website on theirs. So check that out. So with the ReliaStream, again, they offer SentovaCast. That's another option. Has the auto DJ feature. Now, if you want, you can also use another service you can use, which is a little bit less complicated, is free-shoutcast.com. Now, I say that because they offer a free plan you can use if you'd like to do that. The only difference with the free plan is if you're not broadcasting to your stream within a certain amount of time, the server shuts off automatically, so you'll have to turn your server on before you connect. And also, if you don't broadcast to your stream for 7 days, then the server is deleted for inactivity and you have to sign up again. They do have some paid plans available for €4 a month, which is roughly about $4 a month US. You can get their pro service, which basically you have your server. The server does not shut off automatically. It stays on. Now, the service does not auto-renew each month, so you have to make sure you do that. They do send reminder emails for you to do that. So if you want to use just your server and have like a third-party auto DJ feature, one popular choice is livewebdj.com. It's $19.95 a month for their service. You could even do that with the free plan if you'd like. Your server would be free because as long as you're broadcasting, the server will not shut off automatically. So nonetheless, you could get away with doing it that way, and there's no rule with them saying you can't do that. you can broadcast as long as you want. So if you want just to pay for the Auto DJ feature, so you could pay for Live Web DJ, you do get a 7-day trial of the service before you choose to buy it or sign up for it, subscribe to it. And you could, in theory, your server could be using the free plan of Free Shoutcast, and you won't have to pay for your server. So that's always an option. They do have some accessibility features with Live Web DJ you can use. Now, if you don't want to do that and you don't want to pay for all that, for roughly $10 a month, you can use their Auto DJ service, which basically gives you their Pro service with it. So you don't have to pay for Pro or, separate. It's all in one thing. You get 20 gigs of Auto DJ storage, and you can upload your content. And the cool thing with this is unlike like if you're going to use Centovacast or Live Web DJ, you have to put your jingles in a certain spot, and you have to, put your music in a certain spot. All you do with Free Shoutcast, when you connect via FTP to the server to upload your content, there's 3 folders. There's music, jingles, and promos, or promotional material. So all you do is put the files in the correct folder, and the Auto DJ system automatically knows what to do with that. You don't have to change any settings or anything like that. The system automatically knows what to do with it. So that makes it a little bit easier. The only thing is because the Auto DJ is connected to your existing stream, unlike services that use like Centovacast or MediaCP or Sonic Panel or even Live Web DJ, they allow you to create DJ accounts for your broadcasters. So they will connect through a separate encoder, basically, so that way it allows smooth transition of your automated content into your live programming. Obviously, because Free Shoutcast doesn't have that, you're both going to be connecting through the same server. In order to connect to do your live show, you must turn Auto DJ off first in your control panel. That's really the only drawback with that, is you have to turn Auto DJ off first before you can connect, because you're connecting through the same encoder, basically. So you got to turn one off so you can connect with the other one. That's the only thing I don't like about it, unlike the other services. But it is what it is. Another free option for streaming, if you're looking for that, is listentomyradio.com. That's myradio.com. Their service is a little bit complicated with their requirements of, what they require you to do before you have your station up and running. But it is a good service to use. It is free. They do have some add-ons you can purchase if you want your server to stay on all times. There's an add-on called Always On, and I think it's like $5 a month or something. And again, if you want to do that, you can utilize Listen to My Radio and use Live Web DJ if you want it as well. That's always an option. So that's another option for you if you want for streaming. But if you really want free streaming, my advice would be just to go to free-shoutcast.com. It's really simple to set up. It's really easy. And again, you can upgrade your service to their Pro plan or Auto DJ plan if you'd like, anytime, even when you already have your account set up. It's pretty easy. So there's a few services you can use for streaming, and of course there's other ones out there, I'm sure. You just have to take the time to do your research. But those are the ones that I've used that I like. So that's how all that works. So we're going to finish up here in just a second, but I wanted to mention one other detail, and that is a reminder. Make sure that if you're going to play copyrighted music on your station, make sure you are licensed. There's plenty of places you can go to license your station. One of them is called Radio 365. I don't know how much it is to license with them. More than I can afford, that's for sure. But make sure you do that, because you don't want to get fined or something if you're caught playing copyrighted material on your station. Not saying you would necessarily. It's very unlikely, because it's not like the FCC is just going to follow every single internet radio station that's out there, because they're not. That's very unlikely, but you just want to be cautious of that. So if you're going to do like what I'm doing with Wild 103 and utilize it as generally a talk station or play non-copyrighted material, you're fine. But if you're going to want to focus more on music content, play like the latest with Taylor Swift or the latest from Ed Sheeran or whatever, make sure you license your station first. It's pricey. If you don't have the money for it, you might as well be better off with a talk formatted station where you don't have to worry about that as much. But just a word of warning, if you're going to do a station, you're going to play music that's copyrighted, whatever that is, whether it be the latest country hits, pop hits, rock, metal, whatever it is, make sure you license your station. If you are going to go the route like I am, where you're not worried about that and you're not planning on playing copyrighted material, there is a website called Pixabay.com, Pixabay.com. You can set up an account with them and download all the free copyright-free music you want, and you can utilize that on your station if you'd like. Create a library of non-copyrighted music. That's what I've done here and there, and it actually works out perfectly. So that's kind of how that goes. There's plenty of companies out there that do voice work for internet stations. If you would like to find out about those, I will definitely, you can get in touch with me and I can give you links to various different companies you can get audio production work done very affordable. Like I said, Jeffrey Hutchins is one of them. His website is radiovoiceimaging.com. You can get one if you're not using ReliaStream. I believe it's $15 for a 15-second sweeper for your station, fully produced, and I believe it's $9 something for just the dry voice with no sound effects, so either or. He does really good work. Sometimes takes him some time to get it to you because he has other clients that he works with. That's larger clients, for radio and TV stations that he does work for. So it may take some time. I'm not saying it's going to take forever, but just be patient, and he will get it to you as quickly as he can. That's just one out of many that I've used for the station. There's plenty of other ones out there you can research. Again, if you want a list of ones that I use for Wild 103, or that I've gotten stuff done for the station for, let me know, and I will be happy to send you links to everyone that I use. So, with all that said, that is going to do it for this time around. I'll be back, of course, 2 weeks from now with another episode of From the Third Eye, and we're going to move on from the internet radio stuff. I guess we won't move on. I forgot that I was supposed to mention, that's my bad, I was supposed to mention about software you'll use to connect to your streaming server. In fact, I'll do that real quick before we go. So, obviously, in order to connect to your broadcast to do your show, you're going to need some kind of a program to do that, for those that are familiar with that kind of thing. If you want a paid option, I don't know how much it is now. It's been years since I've gotten it. There's a program called Station Playlist Studio. It's pretty popular. A lot of people use it. That comes with a player, so you play your content through that as well, and it comes with your encoder. You use the encoder to connect to your broadcast. So all you would do when you set that up, for example, is you'll have your host IP address or domain name, host name, and this is all provided by whatever streaming provider you use. They provide all this information, your host name, your port. Usually you don't, if it requires a username and a password, like your DJ account that you set up for your stream with like Relia Stream or whatever, usually that is your username with a colon and your password all at once, because most of your encoders that you use, whether it be through Station Playlist Studio or whatever software you're using, Winamp is a free one you can use. It's a media player. There's another one. Usually they don't require a username and password separately. Usually they just put the username and password together in the password field with a colon separating the two. So that's another option as well. You can use Winamp. You can Google that and find that there's tutorials on YouTube on how to get those set up with your encoder for your stream. So, but Station Playlist is one that I'm familiar with. A friend of mine, an old friend of mine, bought it for me back in 2011 for my birthday. Bought me a license, and I've kept it ever since. I don't have any upgrades to it or anything because my upgrades expired a long time ago, and I can't afford to pay to get it upgraded or anything. So I'm using a very old version, but it still works, and it's what I'm familiar with. And I don't really know. I know it's when she bought it for me back in 2011, it was like $109 for a standard at-home license. You can put it on up to 2 computers at a time. And I don't know what it is now. It could be more expensive now. I don't know. They change the price of it all the time. So that I'm not entirely sure. But you can go to stationplaylist.com and find out more information about that. So that's going to do it for the show this time around. Like I said, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another edition of From the Third Eye. Remember, you can visit fromthethirdeye.altervista.org. That's From the Third Eye. That's third spelled out. It's not 3RD. It's THIRD. Fromthethirdeye.altervista.org is the website. Check it out. And I will see you guys next time. Take care. And until then, I'm Hunter Parker. We'll see you soon.